Welcome back. It is Monday, May 8th, and our three favorite picks are on the way. You know who we are. Austin and Logan joining you guys back. But first, let's recap how yesterday did. Logan, you had a great call. Cardinals -1.5. They got it done. It was sweaty, but they got it done pretty early in that sixth inning for you. And then you also gave out the White Sox as a hard money line lean, and that was about as free as you could have a pick. I think we're in one by 17-4. But my pick, the Angels money line, they did not get it done. I think they gave up almost 17 runs. Don't love it. You can't win a lot of games giving up 17 runs. And then we had our no on first innings. We got 3 outs, but then we lost in the bottom of the first. But today feels like a great bounce back day, and we have a couple quick notes that I'll dive into real quick. Now, number one, the parlay of the day is back. We got 3 players to each get a hit. Look, Logan and I are dialed in. We're hitting up some parlays this week. Of course, it's the top link in the description on Dimers. Go show them some love, and it's always going to be live by the time this video drops, probably. So go check it out. Also, there is an Underdog Fantasy free square. I will talk about this in the NBA video a little bit more, and I won't lie to you. We had a 5-0 day in the NBA. We're bringing out the Bruins. We have to wait for it in that video. But Logan, I love your Orioles jersey. That's our Ryan jersey. Does that have anything to go with the play you're going with today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's where we're going today. We're going to the Orioles versus Rays game. I'm taking the Orioles plus a half in the first 5 innings run line. Plus 102 odds on Barstool's currently your best value there. Yes, Austin, great gift you gave me with this Ryan jersey. And honestly, it's not the reason I picked this one. Maybe a contributing factor, but I'm doing some line reading in this one. And whenever an ace is near even odds on the first 5 run line, you usually see me go the other way. Now, it's plus value on some books, obviously, but FanDuel has it near even odds, and first 5 bets are usually counterintuitive. Now, what do I mean by that? First 5 bets usually go the opposite of what you expect. It's just how baseball works. I don't know why it works this way. It just always does. And the first 5 plus a half is my favorite bet because we win if the Orioles lead through 5 or if they are tied through 5. And how many times have I seen, a team leading through 4 innings, then the runs all come in the 5th inning and it balances out each other. It just normally works that way. And a lot of people use the first 5 inning bet to bet on their favorite ace pitcher without the juice of the money line. And that's usually where it goes sideways. I'm just saying the books usually clean up on these bets. Now, who's starting for the Orioles today? Kyle Gibson. He's starting for them. 4.61 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Those numbers are, pretty average. I don't love those numbers, but I do like Kyle Gibson's home splits, right? 1.42 ERA, 1.02 WHIP at home. Kyle Gibson's just one of those pitchers. He's just more comfortable pitching at home. He does not do well on the road. Great news for us today. He is at Camden Yards pitching for the Orange Birds today. Now he's facing an offensive wagon in the Tampa Bay Rays, right? The Rays are top in offensive categories. They're just absolutely hitting the cover off the baseball. They did that yesterday against the Yankees. But several of their hitters don't have a lot of plate appearances versus Kyle Gibson, which I like to see because it might take them a few at-bats to adjust. And by that time, hopefully, we've got some run support for him to work with. But you know what? Kyle Gibson, because he is one of those, pitchers that sometimes he has the occasional 5-earned run type game, he's best at inducing those ground ball outs, which is important against a team like the Rays, who are so good at hard hit percentage. I think they're like second best in hard hit percentage. And Kyle Gibson, if we remember, one of his starts last year, I remember it like it was yesterday, for the Phillies, he had like a perfect game cooking. He was just getting ground ball out after ground ball out. And that's why I think the key to success against the Rays, he has to get them to turn over on some ground balls and some soft contact plays. If he's allowing the hard contact, this one might not work out for us. But I do think it's going to take the Rays hitters a few times to adjust to him. And that will hopefully give us enough time for the offense to get to Shane McClanahan, because he's starting for the Rays, 2.03 ERA, 1.1 WHIP. Shane McClanahan is an ace, right? He's one of the best pitchers in the league. But you know what? The Orioles are actually pretty solid offensively. 9th in average and 5th in OPS versus left-handed pitchers. So they're a top 10, top 5 offense in some categories against lefties, who McClanahan is a lefty. And McClanahan, if I'm going to find a weakness in his game, he's allowed a home run in each of his last 3 starts. Mullins, Santander, and Hayes all have a home run, against McClanahan in their careers. And look at these Baltimore hitters versus McClanahan. Cedric Mullins hitting 353, Santander 294, Urias 308. Now Ryan Mountcastle, the jersey I'm wearing, only .067, but this is me coming on here saying, Ryan, I need better today, right? We're going to need some production out of Mountcastle to get this, going. But Ryan's a different hitter this year than he is, in his other years. They've seen Shane McClanahan before, being a divisional opponent. I actually expect them to be able to have a game plan against how they're going to attack, a savvy pitcher like Shane McClanahan. And I think the Orioles have a really good chance of leading or at least being tied through 5 innings in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and take them on the first 5-run line. But Austin, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, Logan, I'm going to one of the teams that you gave us a strong lean yesterday. I'm going to the White Sox, and while I'm not betting on the money line, also I do want to make a note: the Angels are going to win outright today, but couldn't be me trusting them again. I'm going to the White Sox and Royals, and actually taking the over 8.5 runs in this one. Currently plus 100 on Caesars. I like the plus 100 we're getting here. If you want to take it at minus 105, minus 110, I don't see this going up to 9. But when we look at the two pitchers that are on the mound today, we had Dylan Cease versus Zach Greinke, and I understand why people are going to want to take an under with Cease on the mound because last year Cease was one of the best pitchers that the league had to offer. He had a 2.20 ERA, 1.10 whip. The guy was insane, but this year he just has not had the same command. A 4.58 ERA, 1.44 whip. He's been allowing a lot of hard contact, and that's not good for against the Royals team that loves swinging for the fences. They got guys out there like Salvatore Perez, who's capable of putting it into the bleachers. And you look at Cease, home run in 3 straight starts. He's allowed 3, 6, and 4 earned runs in those starts too. So he has not been too dialed in, and I certainly think they're capable, the Royals are, of getting to Dylan Cease and getting some runs up on it. But another thing I did notice about Cease, and this I think is very important, Cease actually averages the most pitches per inning. This is a guy going out there. I think he's averaging nearly 20 pitches per inning, which is the most out of 76 qualified pitchers. I don't remember the exact qualifications, but let's be honest, he's throwing a lot of pitches, and that's good for us because when Cease comes out, whoever the bullpen trots out there probably is going to be worse than Cease. But we'll talk about the bullpens in a second. And also look at Cease, averaging 4.8 walks per 9 innings. This is a guy that's going out there, putting free base runners out there. And there are some Royals hitters I don't trust. I don't trust a whole lot. They don't really have great averages. But if we can get those guys to potentially get on base, I think we had a good chance with the top of the lineup doing the damage against Cease. And look, I think that Cease, they'll be able to get a run or two, or maybe a couple more than that against him. Zach Greinke is going to start for the Royals. Now, Greinke at home, we have talked about Greinke's much better at home than he is on the road. But something I have noticed is they don't want Greinke going far into these games. And he's coming off his best start of the season. He went 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs allowed versus the Baltimore Orioles. He threw 5 innings pitched, only took him 44 pitches to get there. So they clearly took him out pretty early. They don't want the batters to see him a third time in the order. And that's actually good for us. Because like I said, just because the White Sox bullpen is good or not good, the Royals bullpen is even worse. Now you look at the White Sox, they have a ton of plate appearances versus Greinke, 153 to be exact. They got only a 17.6 strikeout percentage. He doesn't strike out many guys, and a 287 batting average. These are two teams that love to steal bases too. So maybe we'll manufacture some runs there. And we look at Greinke. Prior to that last start, he had allowed 6 or more hits in 5 of his previous 6 starts to start the year. Greinke's going to give up hits. He's going to put runners in scoring position. It all comes down to, will the White Sox be able to hit those guys in? That's all you can ask for. When you take an over or even an under, you're going to have to sweat a little bit. There's going to be run opportunities. It's just whether or not they can capitalize. Like we talked about at the top of the show, White Sox hopefully are continuing the hot bats they brought into Cincinnati yesterday and had 17 runs. Hopefully they can do that once again today. Well, we're not asking them to drop 17. They are capable offense. We've seen them put up double-digit runs before this year. And even if Greinke and Cease pitch an absolute masterclass, trust me, there's going to be some work in the bullpen. You look at the White Sox bullpen, 6.15 ERA, second highest, 1.64 whip, second highest in the majors. They've also given up 22 home runs, the second most. So there's going to be some run opportunities late with that White Sox bullpen. Kansas City bullpen, not a whole lot better. 5.3 ERA, the 4th highest, 1.48 whip, 5th highest, and they've given up 18 home runs, the 7th most. So these are two bullpens that we've seen them give up 4 and 5 runs just with the bullpens. I think we can get some Greinke and Cease runs in there too, but I also think the bullpens could toss us a couple turkeys out there. We could have a 3, 4, 5 run inning, which is a big time to get this over 8.5. So I'm going to take it. I think it's a pretty decent one. I'll take the White Sox and Royals over 8.5 runs as my play of the day. But Logan, I reckon you know what time it is. Yesterday, it was bad, but today we're bouncing back. It's the start of a new week. Let's get the flags out and wave. We're waving these flags, baby. We're cashing out the no one for inning, 6 outs. And we're going back to a team that's treated us so nicely this year because, hey, Marlins, you haven't gotten away from us today. Because we're going to the Marlins and Diamondbacks and taking their no one first inning. Currently minus 115 on Bet365. Now, yesterday we did give out the Marlins and Cubs no one first inning as a strong lean. Sandy, the man, got it done again. Hopefully you took that one if you wanted to lay a little bit of juice. Now let's talk about ours, though. We got Zach Gallen on the mound for the D-backs. And look, this is why we're here. Like, we have faith Gallen can get it done and get us 3 outs. He's 6-1 on no one first innings this year. Gallen already gotten the job done versus Miami in their previous matchup. And we've talked about time and time again, Marlins 28th in first inning runs. I think Gallen can go out there. He can get us 3 outs, right? He's better than that. He can get us at least 3. But who's going to be the guy that we're going to need to count on in the bottom of the inning, Logan?
Yeah, take us home, Braxton Garrett, right? Braxton Garrett is starting for the Marlins today. He's 4-2 on no-run first innings, which is, decent. It's good enough for me to back him. Now, he did allow a yes-run first inning versus Arizona in their previous matchup. He saw them before, and he did give up the run, which is actually something that I don't mind seeing. Why? Because he can make the adjustments of what went wrong in that start, right? Especially how he started that game. A little bit more comfort seeing these batters, a second time. The Diamondbacks, 27th in first inning runs. Look, if we're going to lose these no-run first innings, at least make it a couple bad offenses that don't start out of the gates pretty hot. This one definitely fits that criteria. The over-under set to 8, right? Low over-under, right in the range we do like to pick them. I do think this one stands a really good chance of cashing. Yesterday was brutal. A lot of people were like, "Oh, dude, terrible nerfy call on that Padres game." Well, the Padres scored their 2 runs of the game in the first inning, and so that's just kind of funny how that works. Julio Urias is a good pitcher, and it just took him a little bit of time to settle in. Naturally, they didn't score for the rest of the whole dang game, even in the extra innings. Just makes me laugh, makes me smile. But yeah, no, Nerfy Nation, we're getting some revenge today. We're flying the flags.
Heck yeah, we're flying these flags one time for the kids. Now, like I said at the top of the show, Parlay of the Day is back. If you want to go check it out, I'll be able to put a link up on the screen, I think right over my face. If you want to go click the parlay, see exactly who we're riding with today. I think it's about plus 180 in value. Logan, it's going to be a great week. Feeling a great Monday. Let's go 3-0. Let's bring out the brooms tomorrow. And we'll see you guys back again, same time, same place tomorrow morning. See you guys then.